It started with a single sentence, one quiet, trembling acknowledgement whispered by the man who stood nearest to Charlie Kirk in his final months. A man who noticed everything the public never did. A man who heard the fights, watched the tensions rise, and witnessed Charlie lose trust in the one person he once swore he'd protect forever, Erika Kirk. And tonight, after months of silence, fear, and pressure, Charlie's former security chief has broken open the door that Erika has been trying so desperately to keep shut. According to him, there exists a report. Not a letter, not a journal, not a handful of random notes. A report. A fully documented, time-stamped, meticulously organized account Charlie was building during the last year of his life. The same year where Erika's behavior shifted from concerned wife to something colder, sharper, and far more secretive. And this report, the chief says, is the one thing Erika refuses to release. Not refuses to discuss, not refuses to summarize, refuses to show the world at all. Not a sentence, not a page, not a single timestamp. And when reporters asked why, she simply said, "It's private." But the chief is calling that out as a lie, because according to him, the reason Erika is hiding the report isn't emotional, isn't legal, isn't even to protect the family. It's because the report contains information that would destroy the entire narrative surrounding Charlie's final months. His exact words. If people see what he wrote, the story changes immediately, and Erika knows that. And that's when the world realized this wasn't about grief anymore. This was about fear. Because Charlie didn't just write vague suspicions. He wrote names, he wrote dates, he wrote screenshots of messages that made him question the loyalty of the one person he shared his home with. He documented late-night conversations, unexpected visitors, and times that left him shaken long after the shouting ended. And according to the chief, in the final days before Charlie's death, he noticed fear in Charlie's eyes, real fear for the first time. But the most chilling part, the chief says that Charlie himself told him, "If anything happens to me, don't let this report disappear." Those words were written, stamped, and burned into the chief's memory. So when Erika immediately seized the report after Charlie passed, locking it away, firing long-term staff, shutting down access, and refusing to release any portion of it, the chief knew something was wrong, very wrong. And tonight, he finally unveiled the reason Erika is terrified of that report being made public. It proves she wasn't being honest with him. It proves he discovered something, and it proves she wasn't acting alone. Those three statements have already shattered the internet, but the chief didn't stop there. He warned that one detail inside the report is explosive enough to ruin reputations, expose alliances, and unveil a betrayal Charlie never fully understood before it was too late. And the question we now face, the question gripping millions of people online, is this: what did Charlie uncover, and why is Erika fighting like her life depends on burying the truth? Because if the chief is right, the real story is only just beginning. Long before the public ever suspected tension in the Kirk household, before the anonymous tweets, before the cryptic DMs, before the whispers about a hidden report started spreading like wildfire, the first signs of fracture started quietly, almost silently, behind closed doors. The world noticed a polished partnership, glowing photos, curated interviews, speeches framed to perfection. Charlie and Erika were presented as a unified brand, steady, faith-driven, and unshakable. But those who stood close, the staff, the security, the long-term advisors, witnessed a different story unfolding in slow, eerie motion. The security chief, the man now detonating truth bombs across the internet, had been with Charlie for years. He knew his routines, his emotional rhythms, the difference between stress and panic, between frustration and fear. He noticed the early red flags, long before anyone else noticed them. Flags that didn't look hazardous at first. They looked like typical marital tension, the kind that comes with fame, pressure, influence, and two people living inside a political furnace. But these flags didn't fade, they multiplied. It started with sudden disappearances. Times where Erika would slip away during events, dinners, charity functions, strategy meetings, always with an excuse, always at odd times. The chief noted it because security staff had to adjust their movements every time she broke from the schedule. At first, Charlie brushed it off, saying she just needs space. But as the months progressed, Erika's vanishings became more frequent, more calculated, more emotionally charged. She'd leave mid-conversation, mid-sentence, mid-argument, sometimes returning with red eyes, sometimes returning calm, sometimes returning with an energy that felt foreign. Then came the phone calls, late-night conversations behind a closed restroom door, whispered asides on the balcony, times where the chief caught fragments of conversation, tense, sharp, urgent words, like, "Not now, he's asking questions, I can't do this." And once, chillingly, "He's starting to figure it out." These weren't the words of a woman overwhelmed by public life. These were the words of someone juggling something hidden, something heavy. And Charlie felt it. That's when the distance grew. There were nights, several in fact, when the staff found Charlie sitting alone in the study, lights dim, staring at documents that weren't part of his usual work. He'd highlight lines, scribble notes, timestamp certain events. He became quieter, more reflective, almost as if he was trying to solve a puzzle only he could see. The chief noticed these nights because Charlie, normally surrounded by advisors, chose solitude. Even when security checked in, Charlie barely looked up. Once, the chief caught him whispering under his breath, "I don't know who to trust." That sentence lodged itself into the chief's memory like a splinter. But the shift in their marriage wasn't just emotional, it became physical. Arguments intensified, walls trembled, staff retreated to hallways to avoid the tension radiating from behind the master bedroom doors. The chief once described hearing Erika's voice rise into a pitch he'd never heard from her before, less anger and more desperation. Other nights, Charlie stormed out of the room and paced the hall, running a hand through his hair, muttering phrases like, "She lied again. Why didn't she tell me? She thinks I'm blind. This can't be a concurrence." Something had broken between them, something fundamental, something trust-based, something that couldn't be repaired with counseling or apologies. And that's when the reports started. Not all at once, not in a dramatic moment, but subtly, quietly, almost methodically. The chief first noticed Charlie typing late at night, alone in his office, door locked. Then he noticed a stack of printed papers with dates at the top. Then the purchase of a reinforced external USB drive. Not unusual on its own, but unusual considering Charlie already had state-of-the-art digital protection. But the real shift happened when Charlie started asking the chief specific, guarded questions. What did timestamp 8:14 p.m. show on the living room camera? Did anyone come through the side gate last Tuesday? Was anyone in the guest room between 3 and 5 p.m. yesterday? These weren't paranoid questions. They were investigative ones. Something in the household was not aligning with reality, and Charlie sensed it. And then came the night that changed everything. The chief recalled it with visible discomfort during his interview. It was a winter evening, rain hitting the windows. The house was too quiet. Something felt wrong the moment he walked in, a kind of stillness, as if the walls themselves were listening. At 8:32 p.m., a loud crash erupted from the master bedroom. Not a dropped item, something thrown, something heavy. The chief rushed toward the sound, but Charlie had already stepped out, slamming the door behind him. His face was pale, his breathing uneven, his eyes shattered. "She's not who I thought," Charlie whispered, shaking. The chief asked what happened, but Charlie didn't explain. He simply walked into the office, locked the door, and stayed inside until nearly dawn. When he emerged the next morning, he had written 5 full pages, each time-stamped, each labeled, each far more emotional than anything he had logged before. This was not the work of a politician documenting policy issues. This was the work of a husband documenting betrayal.
The chief said Charlie didn't want to believe the worst. He was fighting himself just as much as he was fighting Erika, but the evidence kept piling up. Unexplained text messages, receipts from places Erika claimed she never visited, a phone call to a number listed under an alias, a financial discrepancy involving funds she swore never existed, and then the package, a small, unmarked package delivered to their home one afternoon without warning. The chief noticed it. Erika grabbed it instantly, hid it under her coat, and disappeared into a room before Charlie could even approach. When he later asked who sent it, she replied, "It was nothing," but her hands were shaking. That was the moment Charlie realized he could no longer ignore the truth. Something was happening behind his back, and Erika was at the center of it. From that night on, the report became his lifeline, his weapon, his shield, his only way of making sense of a marriage collapsing under secrets he couldn't fully see. But here's the detail people keep missing. Charlie wasn't only suspicious, he was scared. The chief noticed it in the way Charlie double-checked locks, in the way he asked security to take unusual routes when escorting him, in the way he kept his phone on silent but face up, waiting for something, some message, some confirmation of his fears. And the scariest part, every time he added something to the report, Erika grew more frantic, more emotional, more unpredictable. There were nights she begged him to stop writing, nights she cried until her voice cracked, nights she screamed at him, accusing him of trying to destroy everything. And then there were the days she vanished suddenly, returning with excuses that no longer made sense to Charlie. He was losing her, or perhaps she was never his to begin with. And that brings us to the final layer of this background, the piece that sets the stage for the explosive twists to come. Charlie didn't just document suspicions, he documented connections, patterns, recurring figures, people who entered their lives and left abruptly, or who reappeared suddenly without explanation. And the last weeks before his death, that's when he made the chilling request to the chief. If something happens to me, protect this report. Not protect Erika, not protect the marriage, not protect the reputation, protect the report. Because he knew something the world didn't, and soon, very soon, that something would detonate. The breaking point didn't arrive with a single explosion. It arrived in fragments, scattered times that stacked on top of each other until the entire foundation of Charlie and Erika's marriage cracked open. The staff felt it before they understood it. The chief sensed it before he could articulate it, and Charlie lived inside it, suffocating under a truth he couldn't fully see yet, but felt closing in on him with every passing hour. It started with the silence, that eerie, unnatural quiet that settled over the Kirk home like fog. The chief described the air as too still, too heavy, too aware for a household once buzzing with meetings, calls, laughter, debates. The sudden quiet was unsettling. It wasn't peaceful silence, it was the kind that made footsteps echo louder, whispers feel sharper, and emotions vibrate beneath the surface like a brewing storm. Charlie felt it most. He moved through the house like a man caught between two realities, one where he believed the woman he married, and one where every unanswered question chipped away at that belief. He looked tired, older, worn down by nights of writing, analyzing, confronting, and failing to understand why Erika was slipping further out of reach. The chief remembered one night vividly, the first moment he realized this wasn't just marital strain, it was something darker, something orchestrated. It was 11:16 p.m. when Charlie walked into the kitchen, shoulders slumped, phone in hand. He leaned against the counter, staring at the screen as if it were a ticking bomb. The chief stepped closer to ask if he needed anything, and that's when he noticed it, a message from an unknown number. 4 words that froze Charlie in place. She met with him. No name, no details, just those words. Charlie locked the phone immediately, almost instinctively, but the damage was done. His reaction said everything. His breath caught, his eyes widened, his entire body stilled. The chief asked, "Sir, who is him?" Charlie didn't answer. He only whispered, "I was right." That was the night the report grew by nearly 20 pages. The next morning, Erika acted like nothing had happened. She wore a soft, rehearsed smile. She asked the staff about scheduling, errands, meetings, but Charlie couldn't look at her without flinching. Something inside him had shifted permanently, and Erika sensed it. She reached for his hand. He pulled away. She asked what was wrong. He said nothing. Too quickly, too stiffly, too falsely. But the chief noticed the truth in Charlie's eyes. He wasn't hurt, he was terrified. The following week was a spiral of escalating tension. Erika alternated between icy distance and desperate affection, as if she couldn't decide whether she should soothe Charlie or manipulate him back into place. She cooked his favorite meals, she left notes on his desk, she sat beside him during his late-night work sessions, but every gesture felt heavy with motive, not love. Charlie didn't fall for it. Every time Erika touched his arm, he tensed. Every time she asked where he was going, he hesitated. Every time she offered explanations for her strange behavior, he wrote something in the report. One evening, the chief walked past Charlie's office and heard him muttering, "She thinks I don't know. She thinks I didn't see the pattern." That was the night the first confrontation happened. It was brutal, loud, raw. Years of suppressed tension erupted into a storm neither could escape from. Charlie had found receipts, actual printed receipts from a hotel Erika swore she'd never been to. He confronted her in the living room, holding the envelope in his shaking hands. The chief didn't hear the beginning of the argument, but he heard the middle, and it was enough. "You lied to me again," Charlie shouted. "You don't understand," Erika screamed back. "You were there, Erika. You met someone there. Who was it? Don't do this. You're twisting everything." "No," Charlie said, voice breaking. "You're hiding everything." A glass shattered. The chief rushed closer, but didn't enter, not yet. Protocol allowed privacy unless violence occurred. But the tension inside that room was so explosive that even the walls felt like they were trembling. When Charlie stormed out minutes later, he wasn't angry, he was broken. He walked straight to his office, slammed the door, and locked it. The chief wanted to check on him, but decided to give him space. Inside, Charlie wrote feverishly, as though time was running out and he needed to document everything before someone could erase it. Pages piled up, ink stained his fingers. He paced the room between sentences. He grabbed his phone, replayed old messages, clutched his forehead, whispered fragments of thoughts like, "She planned this, he warned her, they were communicating long before I knew." That was the night Charlie first cried in front of the chief. Not sobs, not dramatic tears, just one quiet, devastating moment where he whispered, "I don't think she loves me. I think she's afraid of something else."
The chief didn't know how to respond. What could he say? Charlie wasn't just losing trust, he was losing reality. But the real twist arrived 3 days later. A figure was spotted at the side gate, tall, hooded, unseen before by the staff. The chief reviewed camera footage and froze. The figure wasn't random. He was familiar. Not a friend, not a family member, not a staffer. Someone from the periphery of Charlie and Erika's world. Someone who had crossed paths with them years ago, then vanished without explanation. A man Charlie had documented in the report more than once. The chief confronted Charlie with the footage. Charlie's face drained of color. "He came back," Charlie whispered, "after everything." "Who is he?" the chief asked. Charlie closed his eyes, breathed slowly, and whispered, "He's the one she never let go of." Those words changed everything. Suddenly, the late-night phone calls made sense. The unexplained hotel receipts, the anxiety, the desperation, the package she hid, the messages she deleted, the tension in her voice whenever Charlie questioned her. This wasn't random secrecy. This was a relationship. Not necessarily romantic, but certainly hazardous. A relationship Erika had resurrected in the shadows.
a relationship Charlie never knew the full truth about. But the worst twist? Charlie wasn't angry that she met the man. He was scared because that man wasn't supposed to be anywhere near their lives. Something had happened years ago, something both Charlie and Erika had agreed to bury forever, something that forced this man out of their circle, something Charlie never fully explained but wrote about cryptically in the report. And now he was back, and Erika hadn't told him, and worse, she had met him behind his back. The chief remembered Charlie's sinking into a chair, whispering, "It wasn't just the betrayal, it's what they're hiding together," he added. "It's not about love or the past or mistakes, it's about danger." 2 hours later, Charlie made the request that haunts the chief to this day. "If anything happens to me, don't let Erika touch the report." Because Charlie finally understood something chilling. The report wasn't documenting a broken marriage, it was documenting a conspiracy involving Erika and the man she reconnected with, and something both were desperately trying to keep buried. The chief wanted to know more. He begged Charlie to tell him everything, but Charlie only replied, "If I tell you now, you become a target too." The chief said that was the first time he felt genuine fear, not for Charlie, for himself. And he knew then that whatever Charlie uncovered, whatever truth he documented, whatever secrets lay between Erika and Not Man would explode into the darkest revelation of the entire saga. And that revelation? That's coming in Section 4. The days following Charlie's acknowledgement were the most volatile the chief had ever seen inside the Kirk household. It was as though the walls themselves absorbed the tension, radiating it back into every room. Charlie paced constantly. Erika avoided eye contact. Staff whispered instead of speaking normally. Everyone could feel it. Something enormous was pressing down on the house, a storm building above them, ready to split the roof open. And then the leak happened. It started with a small, anonymous Twitter account that had never posted before. The profile had no photo, no name, no connections, just a single tweet dropped out of nowhere. "He's back, and she knows why." Those 8 words ignited a fire that no one could put out. Within minutes, the chief's phone buzzed with alerts. Other staff members noticed the tweet. Screenshots spread like wildfire. Some dismissed it as a troll, others panicked. But when Charlie noticed the tweet, his reaction was immediate and devastating. He went silent. Not shocked, not confused, silent in the way a person goes quiet only when they realize the nightmare they feared has already begun. The chief watched Charlie read the tweet 3, 4, 5 times, his jaw tightening with each pass. He finally whispered, "It's starting." The chief asked, "Sir, what's starting?" Charlie didn't answer. Instead, he walked upstairs straight to his office, locked the door, and stayed there for nearly 6 hours. When he emerged, he was holding another stack of pages, additions to the report. But this time, they weren't just documentation, they were conclusions, connections he had pieced together, motives he had inferred, patterns that unveiled a truth he had been resisting. But something was different. Charlie wasn't confused anymore. He wasn't torn, he wasn't doubting the narrative. He was terrified, but certain. And certainty is what pushed the next stage of this disaster into motion. Meanwhile, Erika changed too. Her calm, calculated demeanor started to crack. Her voice wavered. Her hands trembled when she touched her phone. She stopped eating full meals, pacing more than sleeping, jumping every time the doorbell rang. Twice, the staff noticed her crouched in the hallway, whispering urgently into her phone, saying things like, "You promised it wouldn't escalate. I can't control him anymore. What do you want me to do? Not now, not now." The chief documented every one of these times. But the biggest shift came the night Erika confronted Charlie. It was around 10:40 p.m. when the shouting started. "You're ruining everything," Erika screamed. "No," Charlie shot back. "You did that when you let him back into our lives. You don't understand. I understand exactly what you've been hiding. You don't know the full story. Then tell me, Erika." Silence. A long, hazardous silence followed by one sentence from Erika that made the chief's blood run cold. "If you release that report, we both lose." Both. The same word from the leaked DMs. That meant one thing. Erika wasn't afraid for Charlie. She was afraid for herself, and she was afraid for someone else too. The same man who had returned, the same man she kept meeting secretly, the same man now hovering like a ghost around their lives. The chief stepped closer to the door, ready to intervene if anything escalated. But before he could, Charlie stormed out again, eyes blazing, fists shaking, breath uneven. He brushed past the chief without a word, went outside and stood in the cold air, staring into the darkness as if expecting someone to emerge from it. And according to the chief, someone did. A shadow movement near the tree line, a figure watching the house. When the chief approached, the figure slipped away too quickly to identify, but the chief recognized something about the silhouette. It matched the one he noticed on camera days earlier. When he told Charlie, Charlie whispered, "He's watching us now." Not watching Erika, not watching the house, watching them. And then came the message, the one that flipped the internet upside down. A screenshot leaked from an unknown source showing a message allegedly sent from Erika to a contact saved under the initial R. The message read, "He's getting too close. You need to stop coming here." And R replied, "You made promises." The internet detonated. Twitter threads erupted. Reddit exploded. TikTok creators filmed dramatic reenactments. Commentators accused Erika of a secret partner, a secret threat, a secret past. But they were all missing the point. This wasn't about romance. This wasn't about infidelity. This wasn't about jealousy. It was about fear, debt, and leverage. Someone had power over Erika, someone she owed something to, someone hazardous enough that she preferred to lie to Charlie, gaslight him, erase evidence, and hide the report, rather than expose the truth. But then came the most shocking development yet.
A former TPUSA staffer who had remained silent for years posted a voice memo explaining that during a retreat 3 years earlier, she noticed Erika arguing with a man who fits the exact description of the hooded figure seen near the back gate. The voice memo contained the following lines. He told her she couldn't back out. She said Charlie would find out. He said, then control him. She cried and said she was trying. The memo spread across every social platform, igniting yet another wave of chaos. But while the internet was busy speculating, the chief discovered something that changed the entire narrative. One of the pages in Charlie's report contained a name, just a first name, a name he had circled 3 times, R. The rest of the name was redacted or smudged. The chief still isn't sure which, but Charlie had added a note beneath it. Find his connection to her. Look at 2018. When the chief searched the archives, he found something buried, a brief internal record from 2018, showing that Erika had once worked briefly on a private project with a consultant whose name also started with R, a consultant who abruptly left the organization after a conflict no one fully understood, a consultant Charlie never liked, a consultant Erika defended repeatedly, a consultant who resurfaced, a consultant who now appeared at their home, a consultant who told Erika she made promises. Now everything clicked. But the story escalated even further when a political journalist published a bombshell anonymous claim. The man Erika is protecting wasn't just a consultant. He was someone who had access to internal communications, financial accounts, and private schedules. Someone who was removed for crossing boundaries. Someone who blamed Charlie for ruining his career. Suddenly, the internet wasn't asking, who is R? They were asking, what did R want from Erika? And the answer arrived in the darkest twist yet. According to a new anonymous leak, one of the final pages of Charlie's report, written just days before his death, included the following line, "They have leverage over her. I just don't know what it is yet." Charlie wasn't documenting betrayal, he was documenting blackmail, and Erika wasn't hiding the report because it exposed her secrets, she was hiding it because it exposed the person controlling her. But the final stroke of horror appeared at the bottom of the same page, "I fear he will come after me next." The chief said that when he read that line again months later after Charlie's passing, he realized something chilling. Charlie didn't think he was in a marital crisis, he thought he was in danger, and when he asked the chief to protect the report, he wasn't being dramatic, he was asking for protection against the one man Erika thought she could keep hidden forever.
But the missing page, the final one, is the key, because that page didn't just name R, it named someone else, someone bigger, someone who connected everything like a thread through the darkest fabric of their lives. But that revelation comes in the next section, and it is the most explosive twist yet. The moment the leaks about R hit the timeline, the public didn't react, they erupted. It wasn't speculation anymore. It wasn't small gossip or quiet rumors. It became the single biggest online obsession of the week, pulling millions of people into a digital investigation that spiraled so fast even major news outlets couldn't keep up. TikTok went nuclear first. Creators who usually filmed makeup tutorials or dance routines suddenly transformed into investigative analysts overnight. People posted dramatic reenactments of Erika and R whispering in hallways. They slowed down security footage, silhouetted and circled shadows with bright red arrows. They inserted ominous music over screenshots of the leaked texts and whispered, "This isn't infidelity, this is blackmail." One TikTok with over 12 million views, titled "Erika's Fear is Louder Than Her Silence," became the anthem of the moment. Twitter, or X, exploded next, and that platform became the battlefield. One side defended Erika, insisting the internet was bullying a grieving woman. The other side called her a manipulator, a liar, and the architect of her own crisis. But the largest group was neither defending nor attacking. They were investigating. They dug through old interviews, old posts, old speeches, old charity events, old TPUSA photos, old Q&As, old live stream clips. They were hunting for R. And then someone found something blurry, a blurry image from a 2018 retreat showing Erika in deep conversation with a man whose body language felt too familiar, too close. The man's badge was turned around, hiding his name, but his posture, his height, his silhouette, they matched the shadowy figure from the backyard footage. Comments flooded. "That's him. Oh my God, the posture is identical. Look at the shoulder line. Same. The guy who left the organization suddenly? That one?" So she kept him around privately. Reddit threads stretched thousands of comments long. Discord servers opened. People were mapping timelines, creating connections, making diagrams that looked like crime investigation boards. But the conversation wasn't limited to random users anymore. Celebrities started chiming in. A well-known actress tweeted, "No one hides a report unless it chills them to the bone." A popular singer posted, "If my partner left a secret report, I'd release it immediately to honor them. Why isn't she?" A comedian wrote, "I've seen horror movies start like this." A famous podcast host said, "People think this is about drama. No, this is about control. Someone has power over Erika, and she's too scared to talk." Even a high-profile politician retweeted the leaked message, "You made promises," with the caption, "Disturbing." But the industry reaction, the one inside the political ecosystem, was even more intense. Former TPUSA staffers started quietly messaging journalists, hinting that R had far more influence on Erika than anyone realized years ago. One anonymous staffer said, "He always hovered, always monitored, always whispered into her ear. We thought he just had a crush. Now I see it was something else." Another former staffer dropped a voice note to a blogger. He was obsessed with control, not authority, control. He liked leverage, he liked secrets, he liked being the person people owed favors to. These acknowledgments poured gasoline onto an already raging fire, and right when the public thought they had enough information to start forming theories, someone leaked that Charlie's report didn't just mention R, it mentioned a second figure, someone more powerful. This revelation fractured the internet. Influencers started going live for hours trying to piece the puzzle together. One streamer said, "If R was the shadow, who was the sun? If Erika was scared, who terrified her?"
If this guy was watching the house, who sent him? If Charlie was documenting, who was he trying to expose? The tension escalated even further when a conservative journalist, someone respected, not a drama chaser, posted, "Multiple sources have now confirmed there is a bigger name tied to the missing page, someone who visited the Kirk household multiple times under official pretexts, someone Erika never mentioned." That tweet alone generated over 50,000 replies in 2 hours. People demanded names. People demanded accountability. People demanded the missing page. But then something unexpected happened. A small, unverified, brand new account posted, "I noticed the missing page." 9 words that shook the entire scandal into its next stage. The account was immediately flooded with replies. "Show it, leak it, tell us who, what's the name, are you lying?" But the account went quiet for almost 20 minutes, creating the most intense suspense of the entire saga. When it finally replied, it didn't give a name, just a sentence. "The second person isn't who you think, it's worse." That was enough. People started spiraling into theories far darker than before. Some believed a politician was involved, some believed a family friend, some brought up old advisors who suddenly retired, some mentioned financiers connected to TPUSA, some mentioned donors who frequently visited, some mentioned private security contractors. For the first time, the public realized the conspiracy might not revolve around Erika alone. She wasn't the mastermind, she was the pawn, and someone else, someone with power, resources, and influence, was pulling the strings behind the scenes. The chief watched this unfold online and felt sick because he knew the public wasn't wrong. Someone else was involved, someone bigger than R, and that person's name was the one Charlie placed on the missing page. Inside the industry, panic rippled quietly. People started deleting old posts, scrubbing old photos, archiving old texts, calling lawyers, requesting private meetings, distancing themselves from Erika publicly, avoiding her calls privately. Everyone was afraid they'd be associated with the wrong person. Then came the political reaction. A former congressman tweeted, "The silence from the widow is now louder than any statement she could make." A high-ranking strategist posted, "If the report contains names of individuals with influence, suppressing it becomes more hazardous than releasing it." A security expert said, "The fact that cameras were manually turned off suggests professional involvement." And then the darkest reaction came from a former FBI profiler who wrote, "When a woman behaves out of fear, she hides. When a woman behaves out of guilt, she lies. Erika is doing both." But the most disturbing piece came from a former digital archivist, the same one who hinted there was a second version of the report. He posted one cryptic line: "The missing page wasn't the last page, it was the first." That sent the entire internet into paralysis. If the missing page was the first page, then Charlie started the report with the most hazardous revelation, which meant Charlie didn't build up to the twist. He started with it. He started with the identity of the second person. He started with the motive. He started with the truth Erika is now desperately trying to bury. And the people nearest to the scandal, the chief included, knew what the public didn't yet understand. If that missing page ever surfaces, Erika won't just lose her reputation. Someone powerful will lose everything, and that person will do anything, absolutely anything, to make sure the page never sees the light of day. The tension is now at its peak. The ground is shifting. Someone hazardous is cornered. Someone desperate is slipping. And the final twist, the one that changes everything, comes next. For days, the tension sat heavy over the entire political landscape, like a storm cloud refusing to move. Screens glowed late into the night as millions of people across the world refreshed timelines, searched hashtags, opened live streams, and whispered the same question over and over. Who is the second name? Everyone had theories, everyone had suspects, but the truth, the real truth, was so much darker, so much deeper, so much more explosive than the internet could have imagined, and it was buried in the one page that vanished the moment Charlie died. And then it happened. Late one night, the chief received a message from an unknown sender. No username, no number, just a scrambled text notification with one sentence: "You need to stop talking." The chief froze. He reread the message 4 times. It wasn't a threat, it wasn't a warning, it wasn't a plea. It was a command sent by someone with access, someone confident enough to speak with authority, someone whose hands were in this entire situation. And that meant the chief had been right. There was someone else behind Erika, someone bigger, someone powerful, someone desperate.
The chief didn't reply. He screenshotted the message, encrypted it, and stored it with the rest of his evidence. But the moment he did, something changed in him. He no longer felt like a witness. He felt like a target, because only one kind of person sends messages that bold, someone who believes they're untouchable. Meanwhile, Erika unraveled publicly. Her silence, once calm and calculated, became panicked and shaky. She disabled comments, turned off her Instagram story replies, deleted old posts, unfollowed people, blocked several accounts. She even canceled an event she'd been preparing for months. And worst of all, she stopped sleeping entirely. Staff noticed her wandering the halls at odd hours, staring at her phone with glassy eyes, whispering to herself.
Twice, she burst into tears without anyone speaking to her. Once, she snapped at a housekeeper simply for asking if she needed water. But the worst moment came when the chief overheard her speaking on the phone. "You promised me this would stay buried. You promised. They're watching me, all of them. What if they find out your part? What if the page leaks? What then?" And then the killer line. "You told me he wouldn't go this far." Silence. Heavy, suffocating silence. The chief realized something horrifying. Erika wasn't afraid of the public. She wasn't afraid of the truth. She was afraid of him. The second name, the man who pushed her, the man who used her, the man who told her what to do, the man she made promises to, the man Charlie tried to expose before it was too late. And then, as if fate refused to wait, the final twist arrived. A whistleblower contacted a journalist and sent one voice note with a distorted tone, clearly terrified. The note said, "Everyone is looking at R. That's the distraction. R isn't the mastermind. He's the errand boy. The real problem is the person who funded the entire operation." Funded. One word that changed everything. The journalist pressed for clarification, but the whistleblower panicked. "I shouldn't say more. He knows who I am. He knows everyone." Erika wasn't lying when she said they would both lose everything. This person, he's been inside Charlie's circle for years. Someone Charlie trusted, someone who pretended to support him. And then he's the one who told Erika not to release the report. Click. The call ended. Now the internet wasn't asking who, they were asking how high up does this go? How deep does this betrayal run? And how powerful is the second name on the missing page? Within hours, analysts picked up on a detail no one else noticed. If R was the errand boy and Erika was the puppet, then the mastermind must have been someone with unmatched access, someone who could enter and exit the home freely, someone who knew the schedule, someone who knew when cameras were off, someone who advised the family, someone who could influence Erika, someone who could manipulate narratives, someone who could control R, someone who could bury evidence, someone who could threaten the chief, someone who could erase a page from a report without leaving a trace. And then came the moment that flipped the Earth off its axis. A source close to the investigation leaked a single detail. The missing page wasn't torn out, it was replaced. Replaced meaning someone removed Charlie's original first page and inserted a fake one to make the report look complete. The chief collapsed into a chair when he heard this because it meant the mastermind was physically in the house after Charlie died. He had access to Charlie's private office. He had access to the report. He had access to Erika. He had authority over the environment. He had the power to silence the truth. He had the confidence to assume no one would question him. And then the final revelations surfaced, a detail so devastating the chief refused to confirm it publicly, only nodding when a journalist whispered it privately. The second name, the name on the missing page, the mastermind Charlie was preparing to expose, was someone the public would never suspect, because this man wasn't an outsider. He was a trusted figure inside Charlie's own political machine, a man who controlled messaging, a man who handled crises, a man who built alliances, a man seen in dozens of photos shaking Charlie's hand, a man who attended family dinners, a man who visited the Kirk home more than any advisor, a man with the power to destroy reputations and bury evidence
before anyone noticed. The message Erika whispered on the phone now made sense. "You told me he wouldn't go this far," because this wasn't a scandal. It was a cover-up engineered by a man powerful enough to manipulate Erika, threaten staff, erase evidence, and silence anyone who gets too close. And now you have a choice. Do you stay silent, like Erika? Do you look the other way, like the insiders who knew something was wrong? Or do you raise your voice, push this story forward, and force the truth into daylight? Because the one thing these people fear most, more than exposure, more than backlash, more than losing their careers, is public pressure. They can silence individuals, they can threaten insiders, they can wipe data, they can erase a page, but they can't stop millions of people demanding answers. So right now, I want you to go straight to the comments and answer these questions openly, loudly, and without hesitation. Who do you think the mastermind is, the second name on that missing page? Why do you think Erika made those promises to him? Do you believe the missing page is already in someone's hands? Should the full report be released immediately? No edits, no redactions, no excuses. And do you think the chief's anonymous warning message came from the mastermind himself? Drop your theories, drop your evidence, drop your predictions, drop your questions. Talk to each other, expose the patterns, spread the information they're trying so desperately to bury. Your comments are the fuel that keeps this investigation alive. And listen carefully, because this part matters. This story isn't over, not even close. Sources are already hinting that another leak is coming, something bigger than the missing page, something the mastermind never expected, something that could finally crack this entire cover-up open. So if you want the next update, the next leak, the next revelation, the next twist in this massive breaking saga, then make sure you're subscribed, you've hit the notification bell, and you're ready the moment this story moves again. Because when that missing page surfaces, it won't just expose one man, it will expose everything. And trust me, you do not want to miss what comes next.